This week on the Road with Mickey, our Disney Christmas trip recap.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie,
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
and he's Grogu. He says he has missed all of us.
He
We
has.
missed him.
We
He
missed him.
definitely has.
And we are on the road with Mickey. This is episode 248 for December 16th, 2024. And we're back after a 1 week hiatus.
Yay!
This
And we
week,
were hiatusing.
we were hiatusing together.
Yes.
Definitely.
This week, our feature topic is our Disney Christmas trip recap. And this is kind of a part one, part two, because next week we are going to be talking about Christmas memories. But this week we want to talk about the really cool time we had and a lot of the things, the memories that were created from this past trip. So, but that's down the road a little bit. First, we have some cheddar from the Big Cheese. And Brenda, you start us off. So get to it.
Well, the dates for the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival have been announced. It will run from March 5 through June 2, 2025. And I say the numbers because sometimes, Texas accent people can't understand me. In addition, they will have the Garden Rocks concert series with performers announced for March 7th through March 29th. Stay tuned for more concert series announcements. This is the 30th anniversary, y'all, of the Flower and Garden Festival. 30th.
Wow.
Y'all,
fab.
it is the 30th, y'all.
I had no idea, really.
I didn't either. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It
That means
is.
1995. Wow. All right.
Oh my
Many moons
goodness
ago.
gracious. All right. Well, it's my turn, and there are a lot of things coming to Walt Disney World in 2025, but perhaps one thing that I think I'm going to be most excited for is the Spaceship Earth Lounge coming in late spring. This elevated lounge will honor the history of Spaceship Earth and Epcot and will look at celebrating the legacy of the past while looking towards the future. And I already did a little bit of Googling to see if I could figure out where this lounge exactly is. And I think it is such a cool spot that it might be in, because there is this building behind Spaceship Earth. It's in the Central Plaza, and there's the Walt statue that we all know and love, and then there's this building behind it in the distance. And I looked at it and I was like, I wonder what's in that building. Lo and behold, I'm pretty sure that is where the lounge is going to be.
Well, I hope so.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm trying to picture it. Maybe they'll do something really cool and it'd be like you take the ride, you go up to the first floor and then it stops and you get out at the caveman scene or where they're trying to get the woolly mammoth, and then that's how you get to the lounge. Maybe
I
That's
don't
the very
think-
last scene I want to get out in.
I don't think so, Daddy.
You don't think that's feasible?
No, I don't, because then the ride would be constantly stopping and starting again.
Well, but
That's
it's a
true.
slow moving, so maybe you just get out really quick while it's moving.
That goes against some sort of safety measure.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably right on that, Sophie. So.
Butch wouldn't be able to do that because he never has a head. But hey, whatever.
And what was funny was, and we're jumping ahead, I got some cheddar. Let me tell my cheddar, and then we'll get into that.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? Next year is the 70th anniversary of the Disneyland Resort.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And you know what, Sophie?
I see what you wrote there.
It just seems like 10 years ago that Disneyland was celebrating its 60th anniversary.
And indeed it was.
Well, almost. Anyway, I noticed that I'm the only one that laughs at that joke, but that's okay. Disneyland is going to kick off its 70th anniversary celebration that will start on May 16th, 2025, and it will run through the summer of 2026. So it's a nice big window for you to be able to get there and celebrate along with Disney. So
I'm curious about something. I want y'all's opinion. So when we were there on the trip, we went to One Man Stream, of course, and we watched the film, of course. That always freaks me out. I end up just not ready for the day after that. But it's Walt talking about everything. And then after we left there, I saw like a Facebook post about the new AI Walt thing that's coming to Disneyland. And I'm hoping it's going to just be Walt presenting what was on that film in like a live format, and that they're not going to add any extraneous things that who knows what he would have said or not. And I'm hoping it's going to be like that. What do y'all think it's going to be?
You know, I have no idea.
I don't
What
either.
I do know
Neither do
is
I.
what I do know is that the family is very against the AI.
Oh God, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
what
like
I've
AI
read
much
anyway.
either.
And I'm just like,
I'm
I
scared they're
gotta, yeah, it's concerning. Gotta think that it will be a situation where, in my mind anyway, it's gonna be like historical stuff that
That's what I'm
Walt
hoping.
actually, was part of. Because
Yes.
I mean, everyone knows that Walt passed in 1966. And so it's one of those things that you can't say, well, in 1980, Walt would have done this.
Right, you can't. You don't.
You can't.
What we don't want is we don't want anyone to speak for Walt. We want it just being Walt's words
Right.
that are
Exactly.
documented, or that the family has
Yeah.
given them or something.
When Sophie and I were able to go for the 60th anniversary, they had a really special World of Color that had Walt in the show.
Yeah.
And it was some of his sayings that he had said, back in the day.
I hope they'll keep it that
was
way.
really, really neat. And it was a neat way of presenting Walt in a way that you hadn't seen before. And this has the potential of being a neat way of presenting Walt in a way you haven't seen him before.
Yeah.
And that would be really cool. But you're absolutely right. It's got to be just Walt and what he has done and said before, not Walt making new ideas up.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to be careful how they represent him.
Yeah. And I'm sure, we've always, I always have been like, oh my gosh, why did they close Two Town Fair? This new Fantasyland isn't going to work. Well, new Fantasyland works really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
but
so,
Toontown is still at Disneyland because they keep that. They do try to stay as original.
Yeah.
But
my point in all that is that Disney always seems to do, when it comes to Walt and the parks and the legacy, they seem to do the right thing, is the way I perceive it. So I think they will do the right thing here too.
Good.
And
looking forward to seeing
will
it.
certainly tell, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, well, that's our cheddar, and that was a good question, Brenda. Great question, in fact.
Yes.
So, as always, you can connect with us. We have our links in the show notes. You can go to our Facebook page for On the Road with Mickey, or our Facebook group, which is the On the Road with Mickey group. See, that's really creative. That's the way Mike thinks,
Clear and concise.
We have our YouTube channel, which you can find by going to On the Road with Mickey. Search for it in YouTube.
He is consistent, if nothing else.
If you're watching us, hello, hi, wave back at the camera.
Hi.
Our Instagram channel is On the Road with Mickey, and email on info@ontherowwithmickey.com. And of course, our website is ontherowwithmickey.com. So feel free to check that out as well.
Yep.
Um,
And
now,
thank y'all for being here.
and thank you. Um, we had some really, really cool interactions with cast members. And on the way home from driving home from Florida, I thought, you know what? We need to have some cast member shout outs. And that is what this little thing is. This is going to be a segment we're going to fill in as we have these sorts of interactions from our times in the park. So it's not going to be an every week shout out kind of thing. But this week we had some absolutely incredible interactions. And so we want to officially recognize the following cast members for exemplary interactions with us this past weekend. And that includes Eleanor, who was our waitress at the Rose and Crown.
She was such a sweet
phenomenal.
girl.
And we learned a lot about her. She had been there for 11 months. So next month she will be heading back home. So we wished her safe travels, and we just had the best time. She was so nice. And then there was also David from the Jingle Cruise. He helped. We did the Jingle Cruise as one of the last things we did.
The last thing.
It was the last.
It was the last thing we did.
And he helped Mom onto the boat, and he was very safe and very secure in helping her, and she felt like royalty. And he was awesome. Way to go, David.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we had my mom was in a wheelchair for most of her time at the parks because it was hard on her. She's 82, so it was hard on her. And so this made it easier. And McKinley was.
I love that name.
Yeah. McKinley was helped my wife, Cindy, and my mom to get good accommodation seating for the parade and for the fireworks. So that was a really big help because they were right there in the middle of the spoke. And the parade came right past them. So that was really cool. And then when we were leaving Epcot the day before, Eddie, we had Mom in a wheelchair from the afternoon until we got back to the resort. And we weren't sure if we could use the wheelchair all the way back to the resort. And Eddie at the monorail said, yeah, take it all the way back to the resort and turn it in there. And that was very helpful because it made it easier for Mom to get on and off the monorail and not have to worry about all that. So, and then there's more. So who wants to talk next?
I'll talk next. After that, we already talked about Eddie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just making sure. Sorry, I got kind of jumbled there. Andrew, this one is one of Aunt Brenda's, so I will give it to her.
Oh, go ahead and do yours, Sophie, and I'll come back. Fine.
I don't know these two.
No, just okay. Well, Andrew was working the Super Zoom at Magic Kingdom. I love all the magic shots. That's my favorite part of a memory maker. So we do all that we can that are magic shots, and we love the Super Zoom where you're shown in the park and then it expands out to like satellite, so it shows how little you are, the tiny bleep in the park. But the cast member there was so nice, and we were like, he was just so nice. And we looked at his name tag, and sure enough, the dude is from Houston. So he's a neighbor. Of course he's nice. So Andrew, shout out to you. You were awesome. And then I also wanted to shout out to Liz, who was our wait staff at the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, because when you have food allergies, and especially when one is tomato, I tend to avoid barbecue restaurants because the sauces, I can't have any of them. And she took such excellent care of me and she was so kind and I loved her to death. So thank you so much, Liz from Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. You are amazing. Thank you. And then there is one more that was a missed opportunity I'm so bummed about, but we're going to call him code name Buddy the Elf. Butch and I were dressed in our elf shirts for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and this little dude comes up to us and he's cupping his ear with his hand and he's saying, "Yes, Santa, I have the rogue elves. I have my eye on them. I will keep them in my sights. Yes, Santa, I've got it." And he was just following us around like we were the missing elves, and he was so awesome. He really added to our day. We laughed and laughed for hours about that, and I wish I'd have gotten his name. But if you are a cast member working in Tomorrowland near Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor and this sounds like you made our day.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I wish I could have seen it.
Oh God,
I
it
do
was
too.
great.
I
It was
do
great.
too.
He was
All
so
right.
funny.
Sophie,
All
you go
right.
ahead.
Well, yeah, I have two from this trip, and I also have one from a prior trip that I wanted to give an honorable mention to. Um, the thing is, when I woke up in the mornings on this trip, I was always hungry, so I would always mobile order my food from the Contempo Cafe, which was literally right down the elevator. And then when it said that it was ready, I would go in and wait for them to make the food while I waited there. And there was always this one lady, her name was Susie, and she would always tell me good morning. And she would say, "Good morning. How did you sleep last night?" And I said, "I slept very well. Don't mind me. I'm just waiting for my mobile order." And she's like, "Not a problem at all. Make yourself comfortable." And it was just so nice. She was very, very nice. And
Sweet.
I didn't think much of it the first day, but then I saw her again the second day and I was like, "Hello, Susie." And she's like, "Oh, you remembered my name." And it was very, very nice. It was a nice interaction, and she is very good at what she does.
Great way to start your day, right? First thing in the morning.
Yes. And then the second lady that I want to honor, her name is Linda, and she was actually the lady at the guest counter, the services counter on the first floor of the Contemporary Resort. And she was there for the night of the Christmas party. So we all got back to the resort. It was after midnight.
Yeah.
And we went up to her first because we wanted to return Mima's wheelchair. And she was like, "Not a problem. Just leave it here with me and I'll take care of it." Well, then we all went back to our room and realized that the wristbands that we had on our wrists for the party were not coming off. So my mom and I were like, "We can't sleep with this on our wrists all night, and we have no way of getting it off in our room." So my dad was like, "I'm sure the front desk will have scissors. They'll cut it off for you." So my mom and I, we are in our PJs at this point, and we literally waddle our way downstairs because my legs are hurting and I can't really bend them at this point. I'm barefoot, mind you. And Linda sees us coming and she pulls out a pair of scissors, like, "I'm guessing you're here to get those cut off." And I'm like, "How did you know?" And she was very, very nice about it. Very, very
Sweet.
nice. And so those were the two from this trip. The last one that I want to mention was actually from a trip that we took last Easter, I believe, or the Easter before that. It was a trip where we did have my Mima with us, and we were eating at the Crystal Palace, and our waitress was this very, very sweet, very beautiful lady, and her name was Gwendolyn. And we got to talking, as we always do with our wait staff. Eleanor, thank you for entertaining us for so long. Um, and I told Gwendolyn how I would really like to work for Disney someday. And she's like, "Well, you know what? In order to get in with Disney, you need a recommendation. So when you go to fill out your application, it will ask you for a recommendation from someone. I will gladly be your reference." And That
sweet.
was so, so sweet of her. So
Yeah.
sweet of her.
Very sweet.
All
And I
right.
still have yet to apply, but one day I will.
Okay.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you. I'm still thinking about you, Gwendolyn. If you're watching the podcast, shout out to you.
And that
Great staff.
was awesome. And that's what the cast members do. They
Yes.
enhance our trips. And that's the perfect segue into our feature topic, our Disney Christmas trip recap. And we want to kind of just hit our highlights of the things that we were most interested in and the things that touched us the most.
I want to just say real quick that
Yeah.
if anyone out there listening has special cast members that have enhanced their trip in any way, right there in the app, you can send a cast member shout out. So please do.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
They
it's
work
really
hard
neat.
and
They work
they
hard.
really make a difference for everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think we'll just take a few moments and each of us give our top moments of our trip. Who wants to start off?
I'll start off this time.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things that happened on the trip. Oh, and Brenda, where did you go? She went somewhere. One of the biggest things for the trip. There you are.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're
That's okay.
fine.
I'm literally baking. I had to turn on my fan. Baking in here.
Understandable. I wish I was that warm. All right, well, back to what I was saying. One of the biggest details for this trip was that I got to have my Aunt Robin
Yay.
and my grandmother, my dad's mom, my Meemaw, at the trip with me. And Aunt Robin was so excited for this trip. We know that Dapper Day was going on at Hollywood Studios one of the days that we were down in Disney World. And while we didn't get to Hollywood Studios, my Aunt Robin was like, Sophie, do you want to dress dapperly with me while we're at Epcot? And I said, absolutely, I would love to. If you'll dress dapper, I'll dress dapper. And so we did. And we looked so, so cute. I let her borrow one of her petticoats. She got a fascinator. And we just both looked amazing.
Yes.
And of course, well, I'll save that detail for next time.
Oh.
But of course, we looked awesome. And
yes, you did.
Yes.
literally, I love Mima, but most of my time this trip was spent with my Aunt Robin. Because again, my Mima can't do certain rides, like the roller coasters, Cosmic Rewind. She didn't go on that one. But Aunt Robin was all about it. She wanted to go on that ride so badly. And I said, absolutely, we will go on it together. And my dad went on it with us, but he made sure that we got on the first row. We were the first row, and it was so much fun. We still have the picture. And it's a good thing we were wearing those petticoats because our skirts were flying up. So without them, we might have had a little bit of a situation.
Uh-oh.
Wardrobe mishap.
My hair is a thing. It's so funny what that reverse launch does to your hair in those photos.
Oh, I know, because my hair, I usually wear my hair in a ponytail when I'm at the parks, but it was so cold that my hair was down. My hair was like this. So when we did the reverse launch, it literally went like...
Yeah, mine did the same. It's all cockeyed and it's crazy, but it's so much fun.
It is so much fun. And we got Congo for the song.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was so good. But right there, Sophie, give us that demonstration again of how the reverse launch works.
Why?
Okay. Who needs a point of view video, right? We got On the Road with Mickey telling you how it works.
Oh God, that ride is so awesome.
It is so awesome.
We got Iran one time, and we got Everybody Wants to Rule the World the second time.
Nice.
Wow. I'm glad you remember that. I'm pretty sure I got Congo my first time too, but
we have no idea. We don't remember.
no idea.
No idea.
Well,
All right. Brenda, what's on your
Yeah.
list of things that were memorable?
So much was memorable. I mean, my gosh, how many times have we done this podcast together?
Yeah.
And out of those times, how many times have we gotten to talk about being together at
Yeah.
Walt Disney World? I mean, it
Oh
is
my
such
goodness.
a freaking thrill. It was a thrill to be able to be with my buddies.
Oh, I remember it. When I first saw you, I literally ran up and gave you a
I
hug, and
know, it
I
was the
did not
sweetest thing
let go.
ever. I know, I loved it. I
Oh,
love hugs like that. That's the
you
best
give
thing in the
such great
world.
hugs.
So do you.
So do I. Hello. Chop liver. My name's Chop Liver.
Well, Daddy, I get your hugs all the time.
I don't
Yeah.
though, and he does give great hugs.
He
But
does.
I did hold on to Sophie as long as possible. We held on to each other. It seemed like it still wasn't long enough.
No.
But God, it was so great spending time with you guys. Oh, that is the definite highlight.
Definitely.
Same here. Same
I
here.
loved seeing your mom too. And Robin's so much fun.
Yeah.
I
But
loved seeing
I
Uncle
really loved
Butch too.
seeing your mom, and she was having wonderful experiences, and she looked so happy, and I'm just thrilled that I got to be there.
Yeah. You know, that's my top highlight is seeing Walt Disney World at Christmas through my mom's eyes.
Yes.
Because she had never been there at Christmas, Brenda. Ever.
Never.
Yeah, I'm so grateful
So,
she got to go. And
see
Cindy
that-
is so wonderful with her too. Cindy's such a sweetie pie, our silent partner.
Yeah. So
I just loved it. It was wonderful.
You know, I asked Mom, I said, because we saw the candlelight processional and loved it, absolutely loved it. And I said, Mom, did you like the show? And she's like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, emphatic about how much she loved the show.
So grateful. It was
You know?
great. I think she also loved the fireworks. She loved the parade. She just loved, I mean, there's nothing more magical than Disney at the holiday time. Even if you're not there on Christmas, it doesn't matter. It feels like it's Christmas.
Yeah. And it was so cool because I took a picture, for the fireworks part. That freaked me out because I wasn't expecting them to just go boom over my head. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna
We were all amazed.
But Mom was looking up and looking around at everything, and it was like she was captivated, I think is the correct term for that. She was captivated by those fireworks.
Yes, she was.
Yep. It was
And you know what? If it wasn't for Mima was the one who made this trip happen because
she wanted to go.
I remember the last time we went to Disney at Christmas. By this point, Mima has said, I don't want to go back to Disney again after my 21st birthday. That's what she said. And then we went.
Hot.
Well, yeah, and understandably so,
Yeah.
why she wouldn't want to go again in the summer because, goodness gracious, we were all feeling it.
Yeah.
But then we went for Christmas one year, and she was like, so why didn't you guys invite me?
Yeah. I think that was last year's Christmas trip. And
It
so
was
you
2
planned
years.
this. Oh, was it 2
Yeah.
years?
2 years ago.
So then you planned this
Mhm.
one so she could go. And I'm so
Yeah.
thankful that she was able to go and everything was okay at home and she could relax and enjoy her family.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Such a wonderful gift.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. She needed the break.
Yes,
She and
she
Aunt
did.
Robin both needed the break because goodness knows they are both really busy women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, what a break.
What a break indeed. A break where I walked so much I almost made myself sick.
We did get a few steps in there. I closed my rings easily every day.
I
Yep.
know, so did I.
Yep. Absolutely. So one of your highlights, Sophie, was that Meemaw was able to go.
Well, I was just making that as a comment, but yes.
All right. Well, give me another one.
Another highlight of mine has to do with one of my very best friends, and her name is Jagan. She lives in California, so I don't get to see her often, especially in person. And she and I had been talking, and we thought that we would meet up this trip, but then my parents told me that wasn't how it was going to play out because Jagan had a college class that she was working really, really hard in, and it was absolutely kicking her rear. So I was like, yeah, no, I understand. She needs to stay home. She needs to focus so she can just get that class done with and pass. Well, lo and behold, we get there on Friday night. We're walking into the Contemporary, and Aunt Sheila and Uncle Randy are there. I give them a hug, and then this girl bumps into me. She says sorry. I say sorry. And then I'm like, wait a minute. That was clearly not an accident. She bumped into me intentionally. And I turn around and I give her kind of a little bit of a stink eye, apparently. I didn't know I was doing it, but I turned around and I was like, wait a minute. Why do I know that face? It was Jagan. And she was there.
Surprise!
And she's like, surprise! So I went
Great.
over and hugged her, and then she's like, you actually gave me the stink eye. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And she said, yes, you did. I saw it. Well, I thought it was intentional that you bumped into me. And she's like, it was intentional.
But she's all forgiven now, huh?
Oh, all forgiven now. But we're still going to bicker about it because that's what we do.
Yeah.
She had been waiting years to do that to me because when I was still in high school and Jagan was graduating the 8th grade, my Aunt Sheila and my parents arranged for me to come stay in California with them over the summer as a gift for Jagan's 8th grade graduation because that was really big for the school that she attended because she attended this ultra elite kindergarten through 8th grade private school.
That was Catholic school. Yeah.
Yep. And so she was like, I either want Sophie to come and stay with me or I want an Xbox. And so her mom tells me, Jagan does not know you're coming. She thinks we're here to pick up one of my clients. And I said, okay, we'll go surprise her. I walk up to her in the airport. She's looking down at her phone or something. And I said, congratulations, Jagan. You're not getting an Xbox. And she looked up and she saw me and her jaw about hit the floor.
Oh, sweet.
And that was when we were really, really young. So she has been waiting to surprise me like I surprised her for years at this point.
Yeah, like
That is
7,
great.
8 years. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
And we
It
all
was.
went up to the Contempo Cafe to eat dinner, and then we went to our room to exchange gifts. It was really, really funny because I got Aunt
great.
Sheila this ghost. It's a Halloween decoration, but it matches a Halloween decoration she already has. We call him the pumpkin guy. So I got her a ghost girl to go with the pumpkin guy. Uncle Randy can't stand it. He cannot stand the pumpkin guy. He makes him
Uh-oh.
face
He
the
likes the
corner.
ghost girl though.
He does like the ghost girl.
So
Y'all,
all
Sheila
right.
and I kept trying to meet up, and every time I was somewhere, she was somewhere else. So I finally got to meet up with her when we all got off of Soarin', which was great. I got
Yep.
to finally see her at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
She's
so
so
glad you
sweet.
guys got to see each other. I know you get along famously.
She's so sweet. I really like them.
So
I really
Brenda,
like
give
them
us
too.
something else that you
Well,
enjoyed.
I obviously, because I talk about this all the time, but to me, starting off the holiday season at Disney is the only way to go. And of course, the Candlelight Processional is the most wonderful celebration of the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. And it is just beautiful. And of course, it was a highlight of my trip because I really look forward to it and I really am always impressed. I love it. It just makes me feel like the Christmas season. So beautiful. And
How did
Chrissy Metz did the narrating, and
how did she do?
she did a great job. She's a very sweet Christian girl. Um, what always I don't know. I I've said this before, but when they're doing the candlelight processional, they have a representative on stage that while everyone's speaking and while they're singing, they they present it with sign language to the non-hearing guests. And
Hmm.
to me, it's eloquent and it's beautiful. And I find myself just like watching that person. It's been a female for the last several years. This year it was a male, but it's just so beautiful. The sign language to me is beautiful, and I love that they do that. For the non-hearing guests. I don't even know if that's what you call them, but I think it's beautiful. The whole celebration of the candlelight processional is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was really neat. And that I didn't see the person doing the sign language, but Whoopi Goldberg, our narrator, mentioned him, and um and it's funny because he's signing what she's saying, and
Exactly.
then he realizes that she's saying about him signing, and he looks and she goes, "Yeah, we're talking about you. That's you." And it was so funny, but
Oh,
it
that's
was
sweet.
but but she said much of the same thing about how eloquent and how
It is.
graceful and how incredible
Yes.
the sign language was for the show, and it's just phenomenal. And we loved it, and we were on the left side, so we were literally 10 feet from the left side where the trumpets um stand on
Yeah.
the sidewalls,
Yeah,
and it was so neat to be right there.
it
um
Yeah.
was. It was loud though. I had to cover my ear.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it gets pretty loud. It definitely shakes you into. We were in the center, but we were on like the fifth row.
And we were on
And
the
it
sixth row
definitely
on the left.
shakes you, like, it's loud.
Yeah. And
Yes.
one thing that we had after the candlelight processional is that I was able to meet one of my clients because
Yay!
I had planned their trip, and they were there from the 3rd through the 8th. And on the 7th, we arranged for them to have the same candlelight processional time that we had, and we met them. And
Sweet.
shout out to Tom and Pam because it was really cool meeting them in person. I've met them over Zoom and whatnot, but never in person. And so we had a lot of fun talking and just going over. And they got to meet everyone. They got to meet Sophie and Mom and Robin and Cindy. So we all had a really good time talking, and just it was just really neat. So they had a really good trip.
That is great.
And
Yes.
it was cool to be able to do that because most of the time we send our clients on their trips and we never see them
That's
at the
right.
park. So it's a special thing to be able to meet them in the park when you're there at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It was cool to be able to do that. And
Yeah.
so meeting Tom and Pam in person was really neat.
Neat.
Yes.
All right, Sophie, you have another memory to share?
Oh, I absolutely do. And this is more about what I wore and this is, again, Dapper Day was awesome, but the Christmas party was even better
Oh, that was
because
awesome.
It was awesome.
it was extremely awesome and I looked so stinking cute.
You did look so
Yes.
stinking cute.
Yes.
Um, when a few Christmases back, I don't remember how many it's been even. I think it's been at least 3, but no more than 5. I got my dad what might be considered a ugly Christmas sweater, trademarked as in, ugly but not actually ugly,
I
cute
thought it was
ugly.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah, it is cute, but it's definitely an ugly Christmas sweater. And it had Mickey with the Santa hat on it, and it had a little pom pom where the tip of the hat was, and it was covered in string lights. And Daddy's showing a picture. There he is.
Cute.
And
And
he
that's and the
loved
dress
that
is
thing.
what Sophie wore for Dapper Day at Epcot.
Yeah. She
So
was
Yes.
beautiful.
I look so pale.
Well, it's because of the
It's
flash,
the
but
light.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, that was Daddy's Christmas sweater, and I got him that, and it was a smash hit. Well,
Yes, I love
ever
that
since
sweater.
I do too, and I love a lot of ugly Christmas sweaters, and we were shopping for Christmas presents a couple weeks ago, and I found this pair of what can only be described as ugly Christmas sweater overalls. So it wasn't a sweater, it was overalls, and they had like candy canes and Christmas lights all over the pants part, and it actually had a fuzzy Christmas tree with actual light up string lights across the
The
upper
bib. Yeah.
portion. Yeah, and they turned on, and I was like, I need to have this. I will wear this at some point during the holiday season. I got approval from my manager. I can wear it to work anytime I want, but more importantly, I wore it to the Christmas party this year,
Do you
and
have a
I
picture of
looked
it?
adorable. I
You
do
did
not
look
have a,
adorable.
well, I have a picture on my phone, but I don't have my phone with me.
Okay. That's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
If it came out in the picture that I got of y'all at I wonder if it came out in the picture I
Well,
downloaded of
hang on.
y'all
I
in the
have the
ride
Photos I
in the
have the
buzz ride.
Photos app on my actual computer. Let's see if I can find it.
God, it was
Library.
so cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I do
can't.
have a picture of it.
Yay.
Okay, hang on. This is me in front of the hang on, share screen. This is me in front of the projection right outside the Very Merry Christmas
Oh,
party.
there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
I look so cute.
I know.
You did. You do. Yeah.
So cute.
And they were comfy too. They
They
were
looked really
really,
comfy.
really, really comfy. It was like wearing pajamas.
Yeah. So cute. You look so cute.
Thank you. And that's like the only picture I have of myself in them.
Yeah.
Look really cute.
And
Holiday wear. Disney holiday wear.
Yes.
mhm.
And also speaking of well, back to the Dapper Day, I was gonna mention this when I was talking about Jagan. Jagan was able to join us for a little bit of time when we were at Epcot. That's why Aunt Sheila was there, and she decided to dapper up with me as well. And so she wore this really, really cute outfit. I'll show it to you guys too. And that's us in front of the World Showcase Christmas tree. And doesn't she
Cute.
look adorable?
Yes, y'all both look adorable.
Thank you.
So cute.
Yes, I
So
told
cute.
her that she looked like a vintage style schoolgirl.
Yep.
And she kind of did, but it was in a good way.
Yeah.
And then real quick,
Hmm.
I don't have a picture. I don't have the picture of the five of us. I think that's on Robin's phone. But
You're right.
Cindy had gotten all of us shirts. Um
You're
and I have a
right.
picture of Robin and Sophie in their shirts, and they all are the same style. Um
Cute.
and they have different names though. So Robin was the literary elf because she's in grad school,
Hmm.
and
I was the
Sophie
baker
is
elf
the
because
baker
I
elf
like sweets.
because she's she's a
She's a
culinary
baker.
baker.
Yeah.
And then I was the techie elf because of my technology things.
Yeah.
And Cindy was the short elf, which is funny
Yeah.
because she's taller than my mom. But my mom is the Grammy elf, and so we all had these red shirts, and it was really cool, and it was just neat that we were able to have matching shirts.
Yeah, it was so cute.
Yes.
And we have
Butch
a
and I
picture
had
of the
matching
five
elf
of us.
shirts.
And your
Yes, you
shirts were
did.
awesome.
Yeah, especially for little buddy elf. He
Yeah.
really liked us. I really liked him. Wish I could have his name. Darn.
But anyway, so So that was fun. It was fun to be able to have those special costumes and stuff like that and to make it work, you know?
Yeah, it
So,
really adds to the fun.
yeah, it does. It does. All right. So that was another highlight for all of us was our clothing choices and being able to dress up for the holidays. So,
What can I say? People, it's a special occasion when you go to Disney, and people will want to dress accordingly.
Yeah.
In fact, I would not be surprised if every single chance I got to go to Disney, I would dress up at least one of the days in a Dapper Day style, regardless of whether Dapper Day is actually scheduled or not, because I like doing it, and it's something that everyone used to do.
yeah. All right. Brenda, you have some more memories and highlights you want to hit on?
Well, I'll highlight one of my favorites from every trip that I look forward to, and that is my visit to Raglan Road. Because we go there and we have our fish and chips, which are delicious, and then we have our Gers bread and butter pudding, which never lets us down. And this year it was so hot. It was steaming out of the bowl when they brought it over, and I had to hold the bowl with a cloth napkin just to pour it out onto the tray to add all the toppings. It was so yummy. That
Oh
is the best
man.
bread pudding ever in the history of the world.
And that one
Yeah.
topped them all.
Love it so much.
Yeah. Well, in the um essence of time, because we have a schedule conflict, um,
Yeah.
we need to kind of wrap it up a little bit. So if it's okay with you, I would like to give one more um memory that was really cool for me,
Okay.
and that was on Sunday night. We we painted the town, also known as the Magic Kingdom, with the Christmas party, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It was Mom, Robin, Cindy, Sophie, Brenda, Butch, and myself. 7 of us. We rode the railroad all the way around. We got on the next to the last loop for that night, in fact.
Yeah,
So I'm glad we did it then, or we wouldn't have done it at all.
that's right.
Um, and we saw the parade. We saw the shows in front of the castle. We rode tons of rides that were incredible. Um, we rode the Jingle Cruise, as I mentioned before in our cast member shout out. Um, you know, Robin and Sophie did Tron, and they did Space Mountain, and we did Jingle Cruise, and we did Winnie the Pooh with my mom, and we did all sorts of different
We did
things. We
Small
did
World all together.
we did the
Hmm.
Small World, we did Peter Pan, and we did the TTA, the People Mover, and
Yeah,
we
we
just
love the
had
people mover.
so much fun, and it was just phenomenal. And the parade, being able to see the parade, which I missed the first time because I we had been so go 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 that I ran out of juice and had no energy to stay for the parade. So so it was just phenomenal to see the parade.
Yeah.
And we ended up closing the park down. We didn't
Yeah.
get back to our room till quarter to one or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was just it was awesome. It was awesome. And the nice thing for us is we were staying at the Contemporary, as Sophie mentioned. We
Hmm.
were on the 6th floor, which was the 4200s for the room numbers, the 4000s for the room numbers.
Our room
And
was right next to the
we got off
elevators.
the elevator and we were 20 feet to our door.
That's great.
It was
Yep.
awesome. So so all that tied together just made that party experience just phenomenal because we walked back to the resort. Mom was able to ride in the wheelchair so she didn't get worn out, and it was just a phenomenal time. And that party was worth it in my
Not one hiccup all night long. It was perfect.
it
Yeah.
was so good. And I didn't think the crowds were horrible.
I didn't either.
think the whole weekend, I didn't think the crowds at Epcot and the crowds at Magic Kingdom, I didn't think they were bad at all. So it was just a really good time. It was just an awesome experience. So all in all, giving it on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give it a 10 because that was the kind of trip we had,
It
Us
was.
too.
you know, and we got to see Texas family. So
Yep. Fun.
yeah. So that was our Disney Christmas trip recap, guys. Thank you everyone for following along, and it is now time for some really awesome this day in Disney history. So Sophie, take it away.
All right. Well, I have two bits of history that kind of go together. And obviously, they're both for the same day, but I couldn't choose which one I wanted to go with, so I'm going to go with both. And the first day is in 1929, December 16th. The Walt Disney Studios is incorporated as a partnership and replaced by four companies: Walt Disney Productions, Walt Disney Enterprises, Lyle Realty and Investment Company, and the Disney Film Recording Company.
Nice.
Wow.
In 1952, again December 16th, the WED Enterprises is founded as a private company owned solely by Walt Disney to design and create Disneyland and to manage Disney's personal assets. WED stands for Walter Elias Disney. Already hard at work on the theme park project are Walt's first three Imagineers, Harriet Burns, Fred Jorger, and Wathel Rogers. In 1986, WED will be renamed Walt Disney Imagineering.
Yay. Those are great. Very important dates.
Very
Yeah.
important dates, and quite the coincidence that they happen to happen on the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different years.
That's
Yeah.
fabulous. Thank you, Sophie.
Good job,
You're welcome.
Sophie.
Thank you.
All right.
And now it's time to stump the
I
song.
really don't think you're gonna get it.
Me neither.
I don't think I am either. But you go through and you look at some obscure characters and you just see if maybe it might take more than one character, to name that movie. So let's see. I got 3, and I'm going to go with the first one is Peas in a Pod.
Peas in a pod?
Yep.
Peas in a pod is the name of a character.
Yep.
This has to be from Toy Story or something like that.
You are absolutely right. It is Toy Story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because there are no
crazy.
there are no Disney movies with sentient food in them.
I was thinking Ratatouille somehow, and I couldn't remember peas.
So the other two were Trixie.
That would have been a giveaway, right?
No.
No? What
No.
about Buttercup? Buttercup is the unicorn. Trixie is the blue plastic Triceratops.
Oh.
You see them now when I say more.
Yeah, I see them now.
Peas in the pod
Good.
are 3 plush peas that usually reside inside a zippered case. That's their pod.
Aw.
But the 3 are quite fond of bouncing out of their pod and all around Bonnie's room. The peas' names are Petey, Petrus, and Penelope. And it says the 3 constantly bicker, but what else would you expect from siblings? And they're right.
Too cute.
Oh,
So,
goodness.
It's from the Toy Story franchise.
Very good, Sophie. As always.
Thank you.
So there you
Good.
go.
Yes. Girls, a miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
A
job,
miracle.
Sophie.
Excellent.
Thanks.
All right. Well, Brenda, we got a little bit of Walt for us.
Yeah, a little bit of Walt. The more I go to other amusement parks in all parts of the world, the more I am convinced of the wisdom of the original concepts of Disneyland. I mean, have a single entrance through which all the traffic would flow, then a hub off which the various areas were situated. That gives people a sense of orientation. They know where they are at all times, and it saves a lot of walking.
Yeah.
He was right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've spent
Mhm.
time at that hub just the other day.
Yeah.
Not at that hub, but at Walt Disney World hub.
Right.
And it was a great design. He was right.
Mm-hmm. And the only deviation from that in all the Disney World parks is Epcot because they have the International Gateway.
Yeah.
But
the concept works.
But
Mhm.
see, Epcot is also more
It really
akin to
is.
2 parks in one.
It
So
is.
it makes
really
sense that
is.
you have a park entrance at the front as well as a park entrance at the back, which covers the second park, if you will, of World Showcase.
Yeah.
That's
So-
true.
And they just happen to be joined together. So
Mhm.
so yeah, that is a great quote, and it does. It just flows.
He's just a
So-
smart man.
Yeah. Well, that, my friends, is that, and that wraps us up. Next week, we are going to continue our look at Christmas memories. So we talked about our Christmas memories from this trip. Next week, we are going to talk about Christmas memories from trips in days gone by. So
I got to get out my photo albums.
you do,
Look
because
back on them.
it's going to be really cool. And we don't have a ton of memories, but we have memories from the previous trip that we just have to talk about some. So, so I am looking forward to that. But that's next week. So until then, we hope you all have a great week. Hopefully you're having a really great week, but if you're not, I hope it turns around for you. I hope we have given you a smile, and I hope that if you have a smile and you see someone without one, maybe you share one of yours. And if you're having a tough week, maybe someone will share one of theirs with you. But in any event, we hope you have a great week. And I'm Mike. She's Sophie. That's Brenda. And he's Grogu. And we will see you on
on
the
the
road.
road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.